Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, June the 24th races at Hastings as we do kick off another weekend of racing action. We have 7 races on the Saturday, 8 races on Sunday, stake race each day. We're going to feature the 3-year-olds this weekend, and we do have the Colts in the River Rock Casino.
As we take our step forward, another baby step towards the BC Derby in September, and then on Sunday, the Fillies Dazzling Dawn goes again as we take a step towards the Oaks in the Emerald Downs, and it should be nice to get back to stakes races, and it should be an absolutely beautiful weekend.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be smoking
hot temperatures, almost as hot as our picks.
Yes, there you go. That's good.
Kicking off
Excellent.
this Saturday card is a 4,000 non-3 for fillies and mares. Field of 6 here. Tough to get by La Rondine. We're going to talk about this a few times throughout the weekend. Redicop, Enrique Gonzalez, Phil Hall. They got this girl in California. Brought up here, tried at 12.5. Good second behind Zygo, who's going to be tough again this weekend. Then absolutely, beat Flaming Youth handily last time. Flaming Youth is going to be favored again this weekend. It's La Rondine for me because it also sets up for, you got Arbenita Rose has some speed. Right. Bonnie Christine's got speed. We're Good as Gold is forward. It looks like it's La Rondine's race to lose. Tongue twister there. I put Bonnie Christine, the horse I just mentioned, just comes out of a 4-on-2 at her first asking this year. She looks live. Mark Kluch having a very good year. She will be part of the tempo, though. As I mentioned, I think it sets up Rondine. I put We're as Good as Gold in the 3rd spot. Good second last time behind Zygo as well. 1-4-5 for me.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add. I agree. La Rondine is definitely the horse to beat. You're going to get a 6-5 favorite here, probably in La Rondine. The only negative is maybe she may get pinned down on the inside. Her last time she was 3 and 4 wide the whole race, which sometimes is, for some horses is an inconvenience. Obviously, you're losing ground.
You're losing ground, but it's not terrible because you keep running.
Was not in trouble and not getting dirt kicked in her face, and she ran wide the whole race and just beat Flaming Youth. She was the best in that race and looked like a filly that will take the next step up into the non-3s quite comfortably. Not crazy about the 6-5. But her last loss was when she was down on the inside, and that's, she may get pinned down there, lose some valuable position when the dirt hits her, and then have maybe sometimes a little too much to do over those dry tracks when it's hot, and it's going to be hot this weekend, and it does favor speed. But I do like her; she's the best horse. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Bonnie Christine's the only one that can beat her. She has speed. She's got to avoid a pace duel. Nice win last time. She goes on Lasix today as well. So I got to give her the 2nd spot. I put the 2 Arbenita Rose in the mix as well. Antonio Reyes, great to have him back at the track.
Yes.
He's been off since May the 7th, Kentucky Derby Day, when he got injured in a morning workout. And he's finally back in action, and good to see him. And he gets a lot of run out of Arbenita Rose. It's a good rider change, and he's just a horse that seems to suit this horse, and he was aboard for a victory with this horse last year.
I just want to mention quickly, too, touching on it, because we talked Bonnie Christine. Jose Asensio rode her last time. He is home now.
Yes.
His mother's in town. He's doing well. He's staying with Milton Palma.
He's walking with the help of crutches, but, I mean, he's baby steps, but he's
home and upright, and all the best to
news.
him. And thank you to everybody who has pitched in to help him out. Mike, are you the same as me?
It's a great, I'm 1-4-2, you're 1-4-5.
1-4-5.
On the second race, we do have some fillies and mares, $4,000 claimers, going 6.5 furlongs. I see the 4 Zygo and the 6 Sheila's Rose as the head and shoulders the best in here. Sheila's Rose, if they can get her in the starting gate, is going to be a handful for Zygo. Yeah. Zygo is just in top form right now. She continues to win races comfortably.
Reeling off wins.
Comfortable paces. She's getting very good trips, but it doesn't look like things are going to be any different in here. Looks like she's going to maybe sit off of Bullet. Maybe 4th in Command might quicken the pace on the outside. That could happen, but Zygo's still going to get a good trip one way or the other, and she's just sharp right now. I hate to lean on these 6-5 horses, but I mean, she's another one that's going to be very dangerous again. Yeah. Sheila's Rose is the only one I think they, if they both run their best races, Sheila's Rose is the only one that can beat her.
Yeah.
And so I went 4-6 and I put 4th in Command. Scratched it of a race last weekend or the weekend before. I did have the 11 hole, and gets out the outside again, but still, this is a lot easier spot.
Not 11, yeah.
But yeah, I went 4-6-7.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's Zygo or Sheila's Rose. Yeah. I sided with Sheila's Rose. Why not? She's been training very well. I know I've been saying all year, horses that haven't had a start are at a disadvantage, but she's been training right along.
She's made it to the gate.
She's made it to the gate a few times.
Didn't go in it.
I bumped into Teddy in the morning, and Teddy swears he's got it sorted out.
Okay.
It's fixed.
Teddy's Teddy's a good horseman.
He said it's fixed. No, he's done a great job with her. But she is difficult, and poor Teddy pulls his hair out every time she gets to the gate and won't load. But he swears
This horse will get in the gate.
I think we got it sorted out. So I got Shayla's Rose on top of Zygo, and for the third sport, I threw in Queen of Barnai. Gets Enrique Gonzalez back aboard her. He was aboard her for a third 2 starts back, so she's in my third spot. But I agree with you. Shayla's Rose and Zygo look like the 2 in the second. On the third, here we go. Stakes action.
River Rock.
The River Rock Casino, $50,000 stake for 3-year-old boys. Field of 6 here. I'm going back to him. I really liked him last time. I'm going right back to AP Zona. I liked him the day that Peter Reddecup claimed him for 40 off Molly Pearson in L.A. Came up here, looked very professional doing it, and it looks like it's going to set up for him again. You got Driller's quick. You got Free at Last is fast. Salzburg's on the lead.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's going to be a great.
There's going to be pace for him to
Set
run
up
at. I think
again.
it sets up well for him. He got an 84 buyer last time. All systems go. I really like AP Zona. I like this horse, period, and I think that the race sets him up as well. I put Fall at Last and Drill in the second and third spot. Not much differentiates them. They both have sizzling works into this. June 17th for Fall at Last, 58-4, and Driller on June 11th, a couple Sundays ago, 58-3. Wow, these guys are smoking. 5-3-2 for me.
Yeah, AP Zona is obviously the horse to beat in here. That was a very impressive
This is my turn to take the
debut
chalk.
in Vancouver. This horse ran huge. Got a nice pace set up. Fall at Last went crazy on the head end and did collapse without any pressure. Mind you, did get pressure through the opening quarter, but I'm sure he'll be better. I just don't see the pace scenario being as hot as maybe as I'm forecasting it to be a little less hot. I think obviously Igor has no speed. Driller isn't fast enough to go with Fall at Last. Fall at Last will clear Driller.
Yeah.
Salzburg is not fast enough to go. I think Straight Remark gets a really good. I like Straight Remark. This is a horse I don't love him, but I think this is a great opportunity for him being on the outside. He's last year's 2-year-old champion. He was working great. He was in 111 and change. He worked in May. Didn't get, he wanted to run, just timing was wrong. He ended up having to go to Seattle. Seattle has some very nice 3-year-olds. And he drew inside going 6.5 and never really had a shot. Kind of got bottled up in behind the speed. And it's always tough to ship and go to a new track when you're a young horse. But he gets back on his home course. He's better, obviously a lot better than that. But I just think he gets a good trip sitting off of Fall at Last. If Fall at Last doesn't last, which I don't think, I think Straight Remark's a really nice colt. And he just gets a good stalking trip sitting a length off of him. And I see a 22 flat, 45 flat, but I don't see them pressuring each other. It's not head and head, which is way different. A 45 flat head and head is way different than a 45 flat when you're clear. But I just see this horse sitting a comfortable trip under David Lopez. And maybe this is the one that can beat AP Zona. I'm going to go 6-5. AP Zona is a horse to beat, don't get me wrong. But the 2 Driller is another one I really like.
He's
he
cool,
drew poorly. The inside draw was awful for him. He's going to get bottled up in behind horses. He's not fast enough to get out there. He's going to be covered up in behind, and maybe he can win from there. But he's looked impressive in the mornings. He's nice.
58-3. I will say it again.
Yeah, no, he was on his own.
Quick.
He worked nicely. He galloped out in 11-3 or 11. I was up on the roof watching horses that day, clocking, and he's a nice colt.
He is a cool
I can't wait to see him go long. He's not a speed crazy horse. But I went 6-5-2. I'm going to try and beat AP Zona with a 6 Straight Remark. On to the 4th race, but a very good renewal of the River Rock Casino. A very small field, but a very talented field. Maiden $4,000 fillies and mares here, going 6 furlongs. It's a short one here. We're going to back them up to 6 panels. I went to the 2 Miss Napoli, another heavy chalk here. That's why I had to go Straight Remark and go chalk. In the opening win 4.
Wild card.
But good runner-up effort first time out to Rosie's up. Last time battled hard on the pace, did lose to Flaming Youth, but still hung in pretty good. I thought this race has come up very soft. And
who goes with her?
Can't catch me if you can't goes, I think. But
maybe.
I mean, still going to be that's the horse to beat.
Yeah.
How about the 8 Cash Spiel? I'm going to give this horse one more shot. Has had a couple of very tough trips, but might get a good pace scenario. You got the 2 Miss Napoli, you got the 5 Catch Me If You Can't, the 6 Storm and Jude has speed, and the 7 Grey Rascarisi is fast. I just see maybe a lot of them may beat themselves, and Cash Spiel may be able to sit just off of them. Antonio Reyes has been on this horse before and ridden her well. And I just think a patient ride, just sitting way back, making one run might be the ticket with her. And I put the 1 horse, Bear's Little Whisper, a very good debut. I thought at the 8,000 level, goes on Lasix, and a lot of improvement could be in store. So definitely don't leave that one out either. Ruben Lara will ride. I went 2, 8, and 1 in a 6 furlong maiden 4-grounder dash.
Oh, it's 6 furlongs.
Yes, it's 6.
6 furlongs. Well, I didn't even notice that
Yeah.
until now. I like Miss Napoli even more now. Like, I do like her. I did like her. Sorry, I didn't even look. I just assumed it.
Well, usually they're 6 and out. I know. I didn't look. Remember when last weekend?
time we
when
thought
got
it was a
or 2
mistake
weeks ago in the
that,
Bluegrass Angus race
yeah.
when it was 6 furlong. That can't be 6 furlong. It
Thought
was
a
6
mistake,
furlong.
but it is 6 furlongs.
They're sneaking them 6s in
Line
on
up
us
in
for
front of the
whatever reason. I
grandstand.
don't know.
But that makes me looking at it now. I like Miss Napoli even more. I'm with you. I put Bear's Little Whisper in the 2nd spot. As you mentioned, started the $8,000 level in a decent race with Shadow Dancer and Such a Bargain, and a somewhat productive race. Was involved. Now drops in for 4,000. Second start, gets Lasix, should improve in her second start and cuts her price in half. And I threw Grey Ross Gracie. Craig McPherson's having a strong year, batting 20%. What I like about this one is Enrique Gonzalez takes the call. Enrique's having a strong year. I'm sure he had options in here. And does debut this year on the Lasix program. First time on the Lasix program. So I went 2, 1, and 7 in the 4th. On to the 5th. 62.50. Claimant event for 3 and up Colts and Geldings.
Tough race. This was a tough one.
This is a tough one.
This
I know.
was a tough one. I'm still.
You can go top to bottom here
Waffling.
and make a lot of cases. I left out some very nice horses. I went with Silent Native.
Yep. I can see him winning.
I liked that race last time. He had some decent races, and then when he went long, he's a different horse. He just wants to go long. The main other speed, I would assume, would be Creus. I don't see any other speed in here. And he's to his
Stormy
outside.
Stormy Teen can go, but
Stormy
Creus
Teen
is
can
the
go.
speed. You're right.
But
Creus
these guys are both speed sprinting.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I like Silent Native, because he's on the outside of both. The only two that can go with him, I think, are Creus and Stormy Teen, and he's on the outside of him. I think he sits a good trip, and he can win right back for Phil Hall. I put What Goes around the 2nd spot, waiting for a long race, so he got to the races late, the 4th of June. Went long the first time. That was an 8 with Never Doubt. Prince Hotel. That was
Never
a decent
Doubt was
race.
a huge horse.
Yeah,
that horse won
yeah.
easy.
That was one of Greg Tracy's.
Yeah, that just cruised by a pile. This one
Rushed.
didn't lose by second.
Yeah, this guy
Second
only got beat a length by a nice horse in Prince Hotel. He was making his first start of the year against horses that have been running.
He's got upside.
Now he's got a race. He should improve. Enrique Gonzalez sticks with him. I got him in the 2nd spot. And I threw Creus in the 3rd spot. I know he's never been overly productive at the distance, but when he's run at today's distance, he's running against a lot tougher horses
Yeah, no, they're
than
way
what he
better.
faces today. And I've picked him so many times over the year, I feel like we kind of have a
owe it.
relationship.
Yeah, you have to.
I threw on Creus in the 3rd spot.
It's tough to toss him to the curb now.
Now, after all we've been through, 6, 8, 5 for me in the 5th.
I agree with your 8 and 6, but I did throw in a bit of a flyer in the top spot. I went to step up for the money.
can
This
see that.
horse
He's got back
is
class.
sprints. He's not a sprinter. He's
No.
had 3 sprints this year. He's been okay. The races have been good, but he's not a sprinter. His best races, I know he won going a mile and 3/8, but I mean, this horse's best races are going a mile and 16 and farther. But I just think he could get a good trip in behind Stormy Teen, Creus, and Silent Native, and maybe What Goes Around. I just see this horse maybe being one of the better closers in the race, and it's not beyond him to win at this level. And I just think this horse could possess some value with a low-profile rider. I just think this horse could be 8, 10 to 1.
He's going to be some
and
yeah,
and he's not an 8, 10 to 1 shot. He's like a 7 to 2 shot for me in this race. He's every bit as good as a lot of these going along. So I'm going to give Step Up for the Money the top honors. I agree with What Goes Around. He's got to move forward off of that race. I put him in for 2nd. And the 6, Silent Native. He's dangerous going along. He's another one that can't sprint.
Yeah.
He's ran a lot of sprints, but his best races are going long. He's a fighter going long, and I just think he's better at this distance. So I went 4, 8, and 6.
Honorable mention, too, one we didn't touch on, but could rebound here is Citron Kid.
No, he's all right. He had a tough trip
He had a brutal
against
trip last time,
no
so-
pace last time, and he was wide. Had to make an early run, and
It's my honorable mention,
good honorable mention.
Citron Kid.
Yeah, but 4, 8, and 6 for me in the 5th. On to the 6th race, $4,000 fillies and mares, non-2 lifetime. I went to the 3 Flaming Youth. Maybe not the best filly or mare in the race, but I think she's going to get the nicest trip. Why Is It My Fault might be a better one. Miss Mariah might be better, but they're going to knock heads, it looks like, on the head end. You got the 8, Sakura, who has speed, the 9, Discreet Country, PG Stars, flash speed in the past. I just see some activity on the head end where Flaming Youth might get the nice trip just in behind them. And she's run actually 3 decent races this year. She did lose to Miss Mariah first time out, but Miss Mariah I think will get more pressure this time on the head end. So I went to Flaming Youth to defeat Miss Mariah and the 2 Why Is It My Fault. I thought those were the 3 horses. I just trying to trip out Flaming Youth. Just think she's going to get the best trip of them all, and that's why I think she may win.
I'm with you. I got the same horses. I landed on Flaming Youth as well. Especially, I like La Rondine. Actually, here's a good little test for you.
Yeah.
If Bonnie Christine wins it first, maybe you lean towards Miss Mariah.
Yeah.
If La Rondine wins it, maybe you lean towards Flaming Youth. They both had a good second last time to both those horses. But I'm with you. It looks like there's some gas in here. I think Flaming Youth sits the trip. Like I said, I love that second last time to La Rondine. Flaming Youth on top. I put Why Is It My Fault in second just because. I mean, she got beat a ways, but there was against Riding on the Wind.
8.
Don't Tell My Husband.
Those are way better horses. That 8 and on 2. I was an on 3. That was a way tougher race. She gets back into an on 2.
That was a considerably tougher race. Now she's in for 4 and on 2.
That's a huge drop.
Put her in the second spot, and I put Miss Mariah in the third spot. What did I do? 3-5-2 for me.
We're the same.
3-5-2. 3-5-2. And on to the 7th.
More mares. We got a lot
More
of
mares
mares
for
running.
Maiden
Yes.
4.
I think the only boys running today are in the stake.
Yeah, that's right. Should have reversed cards.
Yeah.
Maiden 4 for Fillies and Mares. Another one, 6 furlongs. I landed on the 7 Halloween Queen out of the Raw Maven Barn. A good second last time, but besides a heavy favorite into Street Country. That was her first start of the year. I think she can move forward in her second start of the year. If she does, she'll be tough to beat. I like Halloween Queen. I threw Oh So Quick, first time starter of the Glen Todd Barn. You got to watch them. They're always very live. Sir Galovic, Trippy Rue is a nice mare. The works are okay. In for 4,000 with Lopez. I got Oh So Quick in the second. I threw Payment Plan on the Mike Anderson Barn, Enrique Gonzalez. You know, was a short price last time. Was dropping out of a tough 16. Didn't show up. I'm going to go back to her and hope that she can turn tables and show up today and at least put a better effort forth. I went 7, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I agree with the 7. This is the other half of the split of that the earlier race. I went with the 7 Halloween Queen. That was ran a winning race behind Discreet Country. That was a good time and just looks. That was the first race of the year. This horse is another one that could move forward. This horse actually was entered and did flip in the paddock prior to that race. So but hopefully she's mastered the paddock and the post parade and the gate and got it all behind her. All those little antics she had because she ran a really good race.
That was a good effort last time.
Really did. Hats off to the Maven crew. They did a great job getting her ready and getting, schooling her and getting her to be ready for that race.
First time I've heard Maven in schooling. You said the same. I tip of the cap to my friend Rob.
Yeah, I know. The one prettier than you I put in for second. I know the horse did crash and burn on the head end, but still 21 and 4, 45 and change. It was far faster than the other half of the split that day, and maybe with a little more careful rating, Purdy than you can last a lot farther. And 6 furlongs is definitely going to help her. And I put the 4 Payment Plan. I agree. This one is better than that last race. I went 7, 1, and 4 to close out the Saturday afternoon program. That'll do it for our analysis. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections. Back in race number 1, I went to the 1 La Rondine, 1, 4, and 2. Race number 2, I went to the 4 Zygo. Kind of a chalky start to the day, but it really looks like those two. But Shayla's Rose in with a good chance. I went 4, 6, and 7. On to the 3rd, I like the 6 Straight Remark. Probably my price play of the day. 6, 5, and 2. Race number 4, I went to the 2 Miss Napoli over the 8 Cash Spiel and the 1 Bear's Little Whisper. On to the 5th, I went to the 4 Step Up for the Money, another bit of a price. Hopefully things go well for the Pat Jarvis trainee. I went 4, 8, and 6. On to the 6th, I went to the 3 Flaming Youth over the 5 Miss Mariah and Why Is It My Fault, the 2, but still 3 very close in ability. And in the finale, I went to the 7 Halloween Queen over the 1 Prettier Than You and the 4 Payment Plan on the Drew's picks.
There we go. Back in the first, I agree with Mike. I went to the 1 La Rondine over the 4 and the 5. The second, I went to the 6 Shayla's Rose over the 4 and the 5. In the third, I went with the favorite. Love this colt, number 5 AP Zona over the 3 Fault Last and the 2 Driller. In the fourth, I went to the 2 Miss Napoli over the 1 and the 7. In the fifth, I went to the 6 Silent Native over the 8 and the 5. In the 6th race, I agree with Mike, number 3 Flaming Youth. Actually, the late double, I got the same horse as Mike. 6th race, number 3 Flaming Youth over the 5 and the 2. And then I capped number 7 Halloween Queen over the 3 and the 4.
Well, that'll do it for this edition of Handicappers Corner. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Quick reminder, if you're not heading out to Hastings, you want a nice cooler atmosphere, a nice little breeze here coming off the White Rock there, and come on out to the Derby Barn Grill. I got the patio out here. Lots of food specials.
Always something good going on, of course. What do we have? We have like 50 flat screen TVs here, one at every booth, and of course Hastings will be on the big screen on Saturdays and Sundays.
Always on the big screen. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicappers Corner.